But the news of the week's been obviously Dylan Edwards, James Tedesco, Sagi, and obviously Teddy. I think he played 22 Origin games in a row or something. He was captain of this New South Wales, captain of Australia. Madge drops him last week, and then in comes Dylan Edwards, and then sadly for Dylan, he gets ruled out with a quad problem. So Teddy was the obvious guy to bring in, right? But devastated for Dylan Edwards because he's been knocking on the door for 3-4 years now. Been a form fullback, arguably in the comp. Well, Reece Walsh, Kalen, I suppose.
We're talking about Clive Churchill, medalist and a 3-time premiership winner. So, yeah, I mean...
Tough for him, though.
Oh, absolutely tough for him, you know, and for somebody who has been as successful in clubland as Dylan Edwards, if it wasn't for Teddy, he'd be the first picked in that number 1 jumper. Oh, I don't know, maybe Tommy Turbo. Oh, yeah, but I just feel like for Origin, like I always felt when you watch Dylan Edwards play and the effort he puts in and just his support play, he's also, I mean, it doesn't really matter now because neither of them are playing, but I felt in the past that while Nathan Cleary was there, if they had Dylan Edwards at the back, that would really unlock Nathan Cleary at Origin level. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, unfortunate, and he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So he gets his opportunity in such controversial circumstances, and he would have hated that, right? Because he doesn't love doing media. You know, that first day he comes into camp, everyone's in his face, it's a bit full on, and he just, you know, he took it in his stride and he said all the right things about coming in, you know, over Teddy. But these things happen, right? And just the timing of it is, you know, they're saying it's not that serious, but it's just the kind of injury that you can't risk taking into Origin, because if you lose him in the first 5 or 10 minutes, then you've got problems.
Yeah, well, you've been around them, Pam.
Yeah.
You were there when Dylan was, well, when he was in camp and then obviously out. What did you make of what happened over the weekend?
It was a really weird one because on that, the training session on Saturday, so it was their first opposed session of the week, and it was against, you know, Panthers SG ball players and just, you know, random players throughout their pathway system, and everyone was looking at Nico. How's Nico? You know, how's he going to go? Is he going to?
Did you get thrown out of the session?
Yeah.
Or were you allowed to watch the whole thing?
No, you don't.
You got thrown out.
Thrown out. Yeah.
Good old days are gone, right?
Yeah, the days are gone. No, so you watch the warm up, and so everyone's, you know, looking at Nico.
Yeah.
How
Stretching.
is he? You know, how does he look? He looks like he's running pretty good. So I felt, you know, pretty confident after that. Nico's going to be fine. And then, we write all our stories. Yeah, we get thrown out. Then we go to a cafe, write all our stories, and then maybe like half an hour later, we get the call about Dylan Edwards. And so, yeah, it was just a very crazy couple of hours there. But yeah, it's just, you feel really sad for him because this was his chance. He's waited so long for it. And now the question kind of becomes, you know, what happens if Teddy kills it?
Yeah. It's funny, back in the good old days, we'd stay for the entire, this is the first year we haven't been able to stay for the entire training session. And you would have seen all this unfold a year ago. Yeah. Would have been, we would have had the cat phones out.
Well, wasn't it last year that Payne Haas sort of limped off in Coogee? So, like, in the past, you know, they would make us turn our cameras off after that first sort of allowed period, but no one was kicking you off.
We had fans in there watching.
Yeah.
But now, even at New South Wales Centre of Excellence now, have you seen all the fences that they've blacked it all out? So all the fences have got all of... So when you're standing on the field on the inside, it's all pictures of, you know, New South Wales Origin moments and things like that. But from the outside, you can't see in.
It's peak Madge.
Is it really?
Peak Madge.
Yeah. Just when was the 2014 grand final, he did that to Redfern Oval, the fences. So, it's definitely a bit of a change with how much access we have, for sure. But... the drama still...
Well, you raise a good point. If Teddy comes in and brains it, just say New South Wales win, Teddy comes in, wins man of the match.
Yeah.
What's he do?
Well, he keeps him.
Keeps him?
Of course he keeps him.
Okay.
I mean, the thing with Tedesco is he's never let anybody down every time he's been in a Blues jersey. And there's a very good chance he comes out and he is the best player for the Blues on Wednesday night. You know, he's done it before. He thrives in that arena. And if the Blues win with him at fullback, then you know, I mean, they're saying Dylan Edwards might be out for 1 or 2 weeks, but even then, by the time they announce the next team, he probably hasn't played any football. So they potentially take him in again without knowing, you know, there'll be an injury cloud over him. But I mean, who would you bring Edwards back, or?
What do you reckon?
I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? I
think you bring him back, to be honest. I think you bring him back.
I think
I think you've made the decision. You've got to back yourself.
I kind of lean that way too.
Yeah.
But then that's also, God, that's a huge call though, isn't it?
It's a massive call, and huge call on Teddy. You know, if he comes back, wins man of the match, they play out of their skin. The old adage is you don't change a winning team, but you know, I think you've gone down that path.
Yeah.
How do you reckon Jakey would feel when Teddy? Like Jakey's the nicest. He's the nicest.
He
would have been so
yesterday.
conflicted.
So like what? Can you imagine what that phone call would have been like between Jake and Teddy when Jake called Teddy to say, "Mate, I'm captain."
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that would have been like?
I wonder if I had.
He would have been apologising.
He would have apologised.
Jake is so nice that when Teddy came back into camp, he probably would have called him a mate and said, "Oh, you can be captain. You can have it back if you want." Like he's that kind of. Would have been an awkward moment for him. But again, Jake is another one who's absolutely earned the right to be able to be New South Wales captain. So. Yeah, it's awkward all around. It was interesting. Brad Fittler mentioned that he thought that initial conversation phone call when Madge picked up the call to the phone to Teddy to say, "We need you. You're back in," would have been, you know, the way he said it was not so warm and a few little words said. So, you know, but I don't think Teddy's the kind of guy who'll go into camp kind of holding a grudge with the fact that he got.
We spoke to him last night, obviously.
So, and did not get an air of that whatsoever. He just seemed so happy to be there, and he was, you know, laughing, and he was in a really good mood, and he seemed calm. And
there's got to be a bit of him that goes in with a point to prove.
Has to be,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.